Hi, good morning. It's just after 5 a.m. It's still really dark and no one else is awake. So I am going to get a head start to the hot springs. It rained all night last night, and I didn't get to enjoy the Starfinder on my tent, which was the highlight of my tent. Everything got soaking wet, including myself. So now I've got the car packed and I'm going to drive about 30 minutes north. I'm so scared because of bears. It was 103 degrees by the time I got to camp yesterday at 6:30 p.m. So hiking may or may not happen today, but fingers crossed. So we'll see. Okay, so it's 5:40 a.m. and I have about an hour and 10 or 15 minutes to get to the hot springs. So when I MapQuested it before I came, it said 30 minutes, but that's from the outside of the park, and then it took at least 45 minutes to get into the park. So I have a bit of a drive, so I'm hoping to hit the hot springs and then the waterfall that's attached to it, and then another waterfall, and get back here before breakfast time. So we'll get driving. Okay, so I'm about 15 minutes or so into my drive to get to the hot springs, and on the side of the road I just saw the first glimpse of Crater Lake. The sun is not yet risen, but I think this is going to be a spectacular view, so I'm going to jump out and take a look. Oh my goodness. That is phenomenal. The water looks like glass, and I'm sure this camera in the dark is not doing it justice, but it is breathtaking. It is so pretty, and I cannot wait to see it once the sun comes up. I'm surprised there's no sun. Like, where's the sun? It's 6:15 a.m. so the sun should have risen about 30 minutes ago, and it is really chilly. So it's about 50 degrees Fahrenheit right now. I wish I could get a little bit closer. It looks like there's some snow. It is the very end of July, but it looks like there's some snow back there. But I'm hoping I can later figure out how to get down there. This is kind of a steep embankment, so I don't want to get any closer. But wow. Okay, let's keep going. Okay, so this is Crater Lake, a little bit further up the road. So I am on the 33-mile scenic road right now that loops around the crater, and I'm only about 7 or 8 miles into the drive, and already this is the phenomenal view that I have, so I can't wait to keep going. Okay, so it's 8:40 a.m. I drove approximately 2 miles from the last waterfall, which was approximately 1.5 miles from the previous waterfall from that. And again, none of this was on the map that I was looking at. And surprisingly, the moment I don't know why I'm surprised, but the moment I got back on the highway, I saw another sign for some more waterfalls. So of course I'm going to stop at every single one of them. But to my delightful surprise, I've accidentally stumbled across the largest waterfall in Southern Oregon. Just looking at the little sign here, I'm at Watson Falls, and it says there's a 293-foot drop, and it is the highest waterfall in Southwest Oregon. So it looks ridiculously gorgeous. I can hear it, and I see some stairs. There isn't a parking area over here. I'm in the picnic area, so I'm gonna try to drive up this road over here and see if I can see this amazing tallest waterfall in Southwest Oregon. Okay, so this isn't it. There's a little overlook here, so I thought that I'd be able to pull off and see here. I do hear water back this way, so I'm gonna drive a little more. Look at this view behind me. Isn't that amazing? Okay, so I drove up the road, and it's just a national forest road for about 5 miles, and there were no signs, and it just seemed to go up to the top of the mountain, but it didn't seem to lead to a waterfall. So I turned back around and came back to where I started, over by the picnic area. But I did find a place to park, and I am the only car here. But I guess I was a little too close, because now as I'm way back, I can see what I think is the top of the waterfall from way back here. So it's really high, so I don't know if you're gonna be able to see that, but way up there is the waterfall. I can't believe I can hear it from here. I wish I had a zoom on this action camera so that I could get you closer. But there are some stairs, and then it leads across the road, and then there's a path that goes in between a bunch of trees. So I think I'm supposed to actually hike up there, which will be fun because, well, I haven't ever done that before. So I can't believe how tall it is. It's like if you look at the very top of the trees, like way up there, and then you look a little higher than that, that's the waterfall. Okay, you know what, I'm gonna go read the directions so that I don't get lost, since there's nobody else here. Oh, I can see all the other waterfalls that I stopped at. Clearwater Falls, Whitehorse, that's the name, Whitehorse Falls. Now I'm at Watson Falls, and then next on the map is Tuscatee Falls, which is where I set out to at 5:15 this morning, and it is now almost 9 a.m. So it doesn't look like there are any more before my falls. Here's the map. So I started here at Diamond Lake, and then stopped at Clearwater, and then Whitehorse. Watson is where I'm at right now, and then that will be my next one. And then down here looks like there's another one. So I'm gonna keep reading, and then I will figure out how to get to the trailhead, to get up all those stairs to get to the lookout points. Okay, so I just said go up the stairs, so here's stairs, and I'm going up. It said there's about a 300-foot gain in elevation, so I think I'll be climbing for a while. I'm glad I wore my hiking shoes because it is going to be a hike. The sound of the water is getting stronger. Oh, I can see it. Okay, well, I wanted a day full of waterfalls, and I've definitely found a day full of waterfalls. So Oregon has definitely delivered. I'm sitting on a little rock and it's actually throwing water onto me. The water's really rough right below me. So I'm sitting right on the edge of a rock where right as the water stops. So everything from here on is just getting drenched. This has all the moss as well, and I love all this moss. Okay, I'm gonna try to get a little higher. More stairs. I can't believe I have this all to myself. And it's raining. There's the top. The tree's in the way, but we still found the top. Because it's very windy and zigzaggy and it's just going all over the place, so it's very exciting because I have no idea. It's very unpredictable. So, oh, this is nice over here. All of a sudden I can hear a bunch of birds and it is such a wonderful sound. Okay, so I'm at a crossroads, literally. Trailhead. Okay, so I'm gonna go left. See what happens. Okay, well, left is taking me higher, and I think that's where we wanted to go. So I think there is an actual hiking trail that goes back the other direction, which would be really fun because the birds are to the right and the water's to the left. So I want them both. Ideally, at the same time. I love all these logs just hanging out on the side of the trail. it just goes all the way up into the heavens behind me. It's gonna be really hard to top this birthday, so next year I'm gonna have to get really creative. I can see more right around these trees. Here's a bunch of falls to my left, and I think we're almost at the top, which was actually a lot faster and easier than I thought it was going to be. But in just a second, as we look up, we'll see the giant cascade. But apparently, oh no. No, it goes for a long time. Okay, I can see it still getting higher this way. But if we want to climb through a ton of boulders, we can get a view this way. Wow. It was well worth jumping over those few giant rocks that were surprisingly there out of nowhere, because look at this. Wow, so yeah, let's keep following it up. I had climbed over all these giant rocks, and then now that I'm to the top, I can see that there's a nice easy trail that goes around the side of the rocks. Okay, well, easy might be a little of an overstatement, but continuing up. Wow, I can hear it rumble. That's incredible. I feel like I'm in some mystical universe that I'm not supposed to be in, but that I'm very happy that I am. I think for real this time, I think that I have just about made it to the top. I wasn't expecting anything like this. Oh my gosh. Wow. Here's the view. Oh my gosh. It looks like there's a little, at first there's the railing, so I thought maybe I was supposed to be this way. And there's a nice bench, but you come this way and on the little path, and now I can actually see the bottom of the waterfall. So I'm not sure if people go down here. This looks like it might be the only way down. It's pretty muddy. I don't know if I'm going to attempt to go down, but I will show you. I'd be a little worried about trying to get back up with as slippery as it looks. And I definitely would not want to get stuck down there. But wow. Okay. I might try it. I'll be back. Okay, so really embarrassing update. I finished the hike and I came back down and I go to get into my rental car to leave and I realize that I don't have the keys. So I'm not sure if I dropped them somewhere up on the trail. I had them in my bag, but I was getting in and out of the zipper compartment to get the remote to my camera and to put the camera to take it in and out as I was climbing and jumping and walking through the water. But I got all the way back down about an hour and a half or so later and then realized that somewhere in all of that winding and climbing I don't have my keys. So I'm not sure if I just never took them up with me and if I accidentally locked them inside the rental car or if I dropped them somewhere up on the trail. So when I went up there was absolutely no cars here. There was no one here. I was completely by myself, but by the time I came out, one car was just pulling in, the first other car of the day, and they were nice enough, so my phone is in the car as well, so they were nice enough to let me use their phone, and it took 45 minutes for me to get roadside assistance on the phone, and then another 15 minutes or so for him to input all the data to start getting a car out to come and get me in. So it's been at least an hour already that I have been just kind of stuck here. So now I'm just waiting. So he said it could be up to an hour to get a car out. So, and I have told a couple people that are going up to the trail that I possibly lost some keys along the trail. So I sent several scouts up to help look for them on their way up. So if they're not in the car, hopefully they'll be found that way. So one way or another, so hopefully I will have a great positive update soon. And funny that this happened literally, I'm 8 minutes away from where I set out to. I don't know the time. I'm guessing it's probably 11, maybe 11-ish. So I'm only about 8 minutes away from the destination that I set out for before sunrise this morning, and I am so close, and now I have this giant obstacle of no way to get there. So I will update you soon. Okay, so 3.5 hours later, I am back in my car. So the keys were in the car. My car at home does not require a key to get in and out of the vehicle. So I have a habit of just leaving the ignition starter in or near the car. So that is exactly what I did, just out of habit here. So pulling away is the tow truck. So I'm out in the middle of nowhere, hours away from anything. So it took half the day. So it's almost 1 o'clock now. I'm still 8 minutes away from the hot springs and the waterfall that I set out for really early this morning. So I'm really excited. I'm so happy. Like the tow truck guy showed up and I almost wanted to hug him. I was so happy. And I am now it's almost 100 degrees and it is so hot and everything is so busy. There's so many people. I'm still going to go to the hot springs, which I normally would not do. I wouldn't do it at 1 p.m. when it's 100 degrees and a busy tourist day. But I'm 8 minutes away and I'm going to do it. So I just have to keep track of my keys this time. So thank you to my insurance company. I'm so appreciative to them to send me a tow truck, and for the tow truck driver, and for all of the very nice people that stopped along the way to let me use their phone, and they gave me some water, and it was just really, I had some company. There was a couple ladies that just sat with me for almost 45 minutes just while I waited. So to all those people, you guys are amazing. Thank you so much. So I'm gonna get driving, and hopefully in 10 minutes we will be at Hot Springs. Okay, so I just made it to the hot springs and the falls, and it is so packed. There are cars everywhere, people everywhere, but they look like they're having a good time. So there's actually a line to get in. I have my swimsuit, my towel, and my sunblock, and I'm gonna give it my best shot. Almost there. Okay, that was not an easy hike, but I have made it. I am sitting right above what will likely be my last waterfall for today. It's really hot and humid. It's supposed to be up to about 110 within the next 2 or 3 hours. So, and I did confirm the hot springs are not here. There are no hot springs here. So, I hiked all the way to the end, and it was for a beautiful view. The reward was well worth it, but there are no hot springs. So, I will need to head back to the car and try again at another location. Okay, so I finally made it to the general area of the hot springs. I'm about a half a mile hike away, and there's a waterfall attached to this as well, but it's a good 4 miles or so of a hike. So I'm not going to do that. I can't feel my feet anymore. It's been such a long day. So I've been cautioned about the hot springs that there's some questionable characters that hang out over there. And the parking lot isn't so nice. There's a bunch of broken down vehicles and a lot of trash. So I'm not really sure, but just to be safe, assuming it's wonderful, I'm going to grab my swimsuit and my towel, and I'm going to make my way across the bridge and through the hike over to the hot springs. Okay, so it's almost midnight on my second day here at Crater Lake National Park camping, and I did make it to the hot springs earlier today. It was so crowded. It was a little disappointing because the spring craters were very small, and there were 5 or 6 of them, but they only hold just a few people, and it was so crowded that I couldn't get my camera out without getting dozens of people in the shot. So and there was one that had a spectacular view, but there were 3 people that were in it, and I was there for almost an hour, and the whole hour they were hogging that spot. So the one good spot, they looked very comfortable. They were not going to leave anytime soon. So that was really disappointing. But I made it back to the campground at about 5:30 p.m., maybe a little bit later. And it ended up being a 12-hour hiking day. So I had a great day. I saw a lot of waterfalls. My feet are killing me. I have so many blisters. I have about 24 bug bites, but it was a really good day. So I'm sitting here with my map right now, trying to get a game plan for tomorrow. When I wake up, hopefully it will be a beautiful day and I will have a great plan for the morning. So I will see you guys tomorrow.